Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today we are going to discuss Jenkins master slave architecture and its concept in this video. So, as you can see on my screen, what we are going to discuss today: what is master slave architecture, why do we need it, how to configure it, and we'll take a demo. Now, if you can see on my screen, let us understand what is master slave architecture. So basically, master slave architecture, what you can see on my screen is there is this master over here and there are three agents or clients or slaves associated with it. The first one is a Linux environment, the other one is Windows environment, and the other one is a Docker container. So you can use either of these three. What we are going to do today is we'll take a Windows master machine and a Windows agent. So that's how we're gonna do stuff today. Okay, so why do we need it? So let us understand it in this way. In one line, you can say that we have to distribute the workload. Or if you are working on multiple projects and your company has a lot of builds to run, you may run multiple jobs on each project. Some projects need to run on some nodes. And in this process, we need to create and configure slaves. Jenkins slaves connect to the Jenkins master, which is this one over here, using the Java Network Launch Protocol, which is also known as JNLP. So basically what we are doing, let's say for an example, we have four projects to run or four builds to run. So if there is no agent over here, what will happen is it will run one at a time. Okay. And once it is running one build, then the other three will go in queue. So because of that, it will consume a lot of time to build all four of them. So what we can do in this scenario is we can add more agents. It can be any environment. Right now you can see three over here, but it can be any number. So what will happen is out of four, one will go to this environment, one here, and so on. So this will distribute the workload, and your work will reach to the customer fast, in a fast manner, basically. So you are just speeding up the process through this, and in this process, what else can be done is that it is very much extendable, that you can extend any type of environment with this. So with that being said, let's move forward. So what is the preface over here? So there are a few things that you need to notice today. So in this video, we are going to use two machines. One with the first IP 52.191.26.213, and the other one is 192.168.1 and 6. So in these two IPs, let us see the specification. In the first one, that would act as a Jenkins master node. It's a Windows environment, and it's a virtual machine which is running on cloud. It can be on any cloud. And the other one is my local laptop, which is 192.168.1.6. It's a Jenkins slave or a client or an agent. It's also a Windows machine. So basically we are going to make master slave architecture in Windows to Windows machine. It's my personal laptop, so you guys can use your personal laptop as well. So it is not exactly the same what we were seeing right now. So I have spun this VM on a cloud to show you how you can set up an agent. Now a few configuration check has to be done. So let us see about it. The first one is inbound Jenkins port 8090. What we'll use here must be open on your security group if you have spun this server on AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. Similarly, the same thing has to be done on network interface if you're using Azure environment or Azure cloud. Inbound rule created in a firewall must have Jenkins port 8090 open. You can use any port. I have used 8090. By default is 8080. So you have to do that as well. So you have to create, I'll show you in a demo but how it needs to be done. And this is one of the very important things, that the same Java version has to be on both master and slave. You can use any Java version. I have used Java 11.0.7 on both the environments so that they can talk to each other. So I hope you have got an idea of what we are going to talk about today. So before going into the demo part, I would like to request that if you have not subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe it. It motivates me to create more videos. So with that being said, let's dive right into the video. So first of all, click on your start button and then type Firewall Defender, firewall with advanced security. Click on it, expand it, and on your left you can see inbound rules. Let me just expand it, click on that, and we have to create a new rule on right side. Select port and give a port number which is 8090. In my case, in your case, it could be different. Click on next, let it be the default one, allow the connection, click on next, let it be default, next, and then give a name. I'll give Jenkins port 8090, and the description give anything that makes it identifiable. That's all, finish it. It's the prerequisite. Minimize it and let's go to another thing. And what we can do here is go to your manage Jenkins and click on configure global security. Either you can scroll down or just do a control F and type agent. And in this agent, select, in place of disable, select random and click on apply and save it. So this has to be done for an option which I'll see in the future. Okay, now check on the IP which is 52.191.26.213 because this is the master machine and we are going to open it. So we are opening it on another browser. That's why we have given the IP. Click on manage Jenkins and click on configure system. It can take some time to open. Once done, go down and in Jenkins location give the IP. So this is the IP of the master machine where we are running our Jenkins master. So if you want to access it, you can just have to give the IP on any browser and you can access it. So instead of localhost, give the IP over here. That's all you have to do and apply and save it. That's all. Once done, go to manage Jenkins again and click on manage node and clouds. Now we'll start the node. Now you can see that there is only one master, which is master. We'll create a new node. Let's give it a name agent01. It can be a slave or something. We are giving it a name agent01. Click on permanent agent and click on OK. Once done, give any description. And the other thing is number of executor. It shows you the number of parallel builds that you can run on a system. I'll give it 4 because my computer is kind of heavy. So with a very good configuration. In remote root directory, if you have a Linux environment, give C Jenkins or anything that you want. I'll just give C Jenkins. And if you have Linux, you can give var Jenkins. Label again the same, agent01. This is how we're going to identify it. In the usage, use this node as much as possible. That's all. And the launch method, you can see this option. That's why we selected random over there. Go down, custom work path, give C Jenkins. That's what we gave. And availability, keep this agent online as much as possible. That's all. Save it. That's all. Now you have created an agent01 which is here, but you can see a red sign which means it is not connected. So we have to configure it. Now click on that agent. Let me open MSTSC, which is a remote desktop connection, and I log in into the slave which I showed you in the slide. I already have given it a username. Click on connect. Let me drag it from my other screen and give it a password. Once done, it will log you into the slave machine, and here we'll try to connect it. So in this slave machine, I've already created a folder known as C Jenkins. You should have the administrator right over this machine. So let me just check it. I can just create a new folder over here. It's not needed. I'm just checking for myself. I'll just delete it. That's all. My directory is already there, C Jenkins, which I gave in the custom directory. Now what we'll do is we'll just open it over here with this IP and give the username and a password to log in. So this is how we access the Jenkins master in any browser from anywhere. So just click on sign in. Now we'll go to the same node. How do we go it? Manage Jenkins, manage node in clouds, and click on agent01. Now if it will give you a few commands over here, you just have to copy and paste it over somewhere. Okay, this is very important, so that's why paste it somewhere on the notepad file. I have pasted it. So this is what you have to use. Click on agent.jar and it will download a jar file. So just keep it, you don't have to discard it. Once done, go wherever it is downloaded. You can wait for some time. Just copy or cut it and put it in the C Jenkins remote that directory which we talked about. It is very important. So that's all you have to do. Now what you have to do is copy this path, or you can just open a CMD over here. I'll just use CMD as an administrator. So just click over it, let me approve it, and it is right now in system. So let me cd change the directory. Now we are in the proper directory. All you have to do is you have to paste that first command which was given in the node for the agent 01. Just copy and paste it over here. So let me copy and paste it over here. Once done, hit enter. You can see everything is perfect. The IP is perfect over here. Hit enter. It can take up to some time. You can see that remoting folder has been created, which means it's talking to the perfect same directory. If you have to stop it, you can click on Ctrl C or just press it together. It will work. Now I'll just restart it. Let me clean the screen and I'll hit with this same command. It can take up to some time, and you can see that it has agent discovery successful. It's trying to connect the protocol and it is connected. Perfect. That's what we have to do. Let me just go over here and refresh the screen. And we have connected the agent, and that's all we have to do. Now what we'll do, we'll test it by creating a job and running it in the same agent 01. So you can give any name. I'll give the test job name. Click on anything. I'll just, for explanation, I'll select a freestyle project over here. Click on OK. You don't have to do anything. Just give anything on the description to identify. I'll just say checking agent 01. And in the different options, what you can do, you have to restrict where this build has to be run. So click on that option in the general tab and give a label expression which was agent 01. It will come down and select it. That's all. It has identified it and you have to run it over here. So this is what we have to do. Now this will run every time in this agent only. We'll just execute some command, very basic, a Windows command because it is a Windows environment. So batch command would work. Let me echo something. So echo hello, and that is all you have to do. Apply and save it. Now what we'll do is we'll just test it, and in order to do that we'll just run it. So this is my local environment, local laptop, which is a slave environment. You can see there is only remoting folder over here, and let's see what happens when we run this build. So click on build now and wait for it to complete. Click on that. It started by Ravish, which is my name, and click on console output. And it is starting. You can see C Jenkins workspace test job. It means it has created something in my workspace. So let's see what has happened. Go to the folder again, and you can see in my slave this workspace has been created. Go inside and you can see test job, the name has been created, which means everything is running perfectly on my slave. So right now what you can see, it is successful, and that's all you have to do, guys. This is successful. Let's go again in my environment and see test job is there. It is empty right now because we have not done anything yet, but the workspace is perfectly working. So anything that you create will go in that workspace. So that is how it works, right? It's very simple to do that. And right now we have connected a Jenkins master in a Windows environment with a Jenkins slave in a Windows environment. This is possible with vice versa, or with a Linux environment. You can have a master in Linux environment or anything as such. It does not matter. It will connect and work in a similar way. So that's how it's done, guys, and you can distribute the workload. So let's say if there are 4 builds and one build has to go in some different environment, and we have restricted it, but that's what you saw when I was creating it, and that's how you restrict it. So this is how it's done, guys, and that's how you distribute the workload. So thanks, guys. I guess you have understood, and I'll see you in the next video.